Good evening, good morning, and good night. Welcome to Inappropriate Radio. It's your host, Tasha. Let's get into this. So, hi guys. I hope all is well. I hope y'all are enjoying y'all's weekend. I hope y'all are ready for them kids to go back to school. Okay? If this is your first time tuning in, hello, welcome, hi, get on in here. Please follow us on YouTube at Inappropriate Radio TV. No periodic table or alien talk. All right. However, you already know the creator came through with a message. All right. So, it has been brought to my attention that a lot of people are fighting to raise their vibration. Okay. The creator had us go over this topic. It's been a while. I can't even tell you when, but I do recall us having the conversation, and then he brought it to my attention that we've actually had quite a few conversations about what is required in order to be able to hear the creator's voice, right? What is the distinction between all of the other voices that we hear in comparison, to God's voice, right? A lot of people don't know what God's voice is. So, that was like one of the portions of this. But one of the main ways that you are going to be able to not only raise your vibration, but get yourself in alignment is to connect with your spirit team, right? And this calls for obedience. So this is why being able to hear the creator's voice and be able to make the distinction between his voice and all others is so important. A lot of people are not even aware of their power, right? And who they are in the spiritual realm, and they're totally blocked out from it because they're being disobedient. And it's not even like on purpose. It's just because they sometimes don't know. I mean, some of us know, right? You do something you're supposed to be doing, and you can feel it in your spirit. You can feel it in your gut. It's in the back of your mind. You're like being haunted. But I mean, this is for those people who really, really don't know, okay? Who really are having a hard time making that distinction. So yes, I'm going to say this is not one of those projections. I'm not having a hard time hearing the creator. I know God a little bit. I mean, at least enough to be able to hear his voice. So I'm not projecting anything. This is not for me, okay? Now, you have to be able to make connections with your spirit team, okay? Your spirit team is a culmination of your ancestors. Remember, we talked about that. Your ancestors are bound to you by blood, right? So you're connected to some of these ancestors, or all of them, at least anywhere from 7 to 20 generations back up the line, meaning before you, and then 7 to 20 down the line, meaning those that are coming after you, okay? So you're like right in the middle. And if you are the cycle breaker, the curse breaker, the black sheep, the chosen one, the starseed, the indigo, the rainbow child, whatever you want to consider yourself as, if you are the conscious one with the higher vibration, this 9 times out of 10 is not for you, okay? It could be, but 9 times out of 10, it is not. This is for people who are trying to align themselves with their purpose. And in order for you to do that, you have to make connections with people. Remember, we talked about how people are sent to us and how God uses people to plant us in the position that we need to be put in order to prevail, in order to step into our calling, in order to get the frequency that we need to soar. And a lot of people, they're like shutting down. I don't like people. I don't fuck with people like that. I don't trust people. I don't know them. You can't be like that if you want to win, especially if you want to win by God's standard. Like, it's one thing to just be of the world and just, to be in the world and just do your own thing. But there's a totally different protocol that is required in order for you to do what God is leading you to do. Because remember, just because it's good and it's nice and it seems right and all of that doesn't mean that it's for you. And it doesn't mean that it's what God wants for you. You have to learn how to make a distinction between things that are for you and that are not. Okay? It's not up to everyone to determine what you need. It's God, and then you agree. Okay? A lot of people have been realizing that their frequency is connected to their very own desires and thoughts and thought process. So if you could start changing how you think, if you could start changing how you're moving, if you could start changing your environment, if you could raise your vibration like that, that's how you get your foot in the door, because this is how you start eating better, working out, saying no to your old habits, removing yourself from environments that are not conducive to your spiritual growth. Okay? There's one thing to be around people that are good people, right? But maybe you've outgrown them. Maybe you need to start being in environments that are going to encourage you to start behaviors, habits, ideas, ideations that are more aligned with the frequency that God needs you to be in to accomplish what He wants. That's the name of the game. Doing what God sent us here for. I hate to say it. Some people were already here because they were stuck here and they were able to get their vibrations at a high enough frequency where they can now get a vessel. So this is why you have to pray over your children, because you don't want your child to be consumed by a spirit that's trying to get with God. Okay, I mean, it rarely happens, but if your kid is low vibrational, if your life low vibrational, if your home is low vibrational, if your neighborhood is low vibrational, if the school is, if the diet is, and this is the main key. If there is a karmic debt that is associated to your lineage, and you or your child are in the direct line of sight in the generation, then you or your child could be susceptible. Meaning that 7 to 20 generations we were talking about, those are where the curses are broken or made. So if someone say, hey, there's a curse placed on your bloodline, that curse can last anywhere from 7 to 20 generations. So if you fall anywhere in between that, your child can get caught up in that. You don't want that, okay? Especially if you're aware of what's going on, you can easily fast these things out, pray these things out if God wants you to. Sometimes God wants these things to happen because this is how the karmic debt gets paid. This is how we reap the benefits, right, that are connected to our blessings. And this is how we clear ourselves for future generations. You don't want to be in a position where you could have changed something and now your children's children are being haunted by something that you could have handled right now, today. Okay? So that means eating better, getting rest, drinking water. Whatever you feel is going to raise your vibration and get you into alignment with God's purpose for you, you do that. Again, being able to make this connection with your spirit guides is how you get into alignment. You have to connect with the right people. You're not going anywhere. And some of these spirit guides are sending people. Your ancestors are not connected to your spirit guides per se. What do I mean by that? We talked about this. Your ancestors are bound to you by blood, and your spirit guides are bound to you by assignment. Okay? So let's just say you have a person that is meant to come into your life in 5th grade, 4th grade, whatever. Doesn't matter the grade. Let's just say someone's meant to come into your life, right? And your spirit guides are going to be ushering in the people and the things that you need to meet these people. But You're saying you don't want to meet new people. So you're shunning out people. And you're supposed to be linked in with this person from a very young age because your frequencies are meant to work together in tandem in order to be able to attract another person, right? You're going to be out of the loop. You're going to be fucked. I'm just going to say it like that. I'm sorry to say it like that, but that's just what it is, okay? If you allow yourself to be distracted by your own ego or your own attitude or your own likes and dislikes, you can totally miss out on your whole life. The same way a person can do something bad to you or leave your life and open a portal, okay, in order for you to step into the portal, the new portal, it's the same thing. People enter your life and create new energies. These energies are portals and they lead to different ideas. You visiting places where you are now making connections and meeting new people. You are getting access to things that you probably would have otherwise not even been thinking about if you hadn't made connections with these people. So the gist of this topic is for you to know you have to make connections with your spirit guides and your ancestors in order to get things done. Now, I would like to say that not all ancestors are a part of your spirit team. Not all ancestors have your highest good. We talked about that, right? Like those are the ones that once you upgrade the lineage or the link, they are the weakest link. So they get cast down. They get knocked out of sequence. Sometimes they'll go to new families. Sometimes they have to descend all the way to the pits to start over. Sometimes God gives them grace and allows them to, do their own thing and start over anyway. It just depends on what God wants for that particular soul. But in all reality, this thing is based around, and when I say this thing, I mean this topic. This topic is us focusing on being able to accept and tolerate people that we may not even freaking like. You may not know. That's basically what this is about. Okay, you having to make connections with people that are sent in by your spirit guide. And because this is a frequency that you're unfamiliar with, you may reject it. And you would be doing yourself a disservice if you do that, okay? So you have to be sure. And we're not even going deep, right? This is like surface level stuff. You have to make sure, because remember, the same way a person can come into your life and mess it up is the same way a person can come into your life and enhance it and make it better. We don't have to always focus on the negative aspects of life. There are positive things that happen that can occur, all because we allowed someone to be themselves, all because we allowed ourselves to be available for people when they're showing up on our behalf. We don't have to know them. We don't have to like them. We don't have to agree with what they're doing. We don't have to be familiar with any of this stuff. Your job is to adhere. And this is where the warfare comes in, because things are going to happen to make you second guess and question. But this is where your discernment comes in. Also, you have to know that God is sending in people to help you. Let's stop giving the devil so much credit about who he's sending in to distract us, because he has to get the permission from the Creator. These are all tests from the Creator at the end of the day. Okay? You don't have to worry yourself with fear of who's the right person and who's not. And that is something that I would say I had to figure out. So that's not a projection, but that is me telling you that we all go through it. Even if you do know the voice of God, sometimes he goes silent on you to see what type of choices you're going to make without him interjecting. Okay? You don't have to kick everybody out your life. Some people are meant to stay. Okay? But I'm going to end it here. I do love y'all. I hope y'all are enjoying your weekend. I hope you are drinking your water, eating your fruit and vegetables, and sipping on your own tea, because it's most definitely free. I'm out of here. Love y'all. Peace.